Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know.
Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide
At thezone1059.com.
All right. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Yeah. It's a Monday, and I'm still not 100%. Now, I will tell you, don't let how I sound fool you. I feel pretty good. Not 100%, but pretty good. It's just that I still sound like I'm talking through a tin can. Not that that's any different than, but I mean to a greater degree. So, with that said, I sure would love to hear from you today on this Monday. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Now, hey to everybody on the live stream. Look, it's not my birthday. That was last week. I realized the birthday banner is still hanging up in here. Like I said last week, it's one of those that, the homecoming queen went to a lot of trouble. And, there's some people that are involved with this show who are, in the Bureau who can probably relate to this. That when your friends and loved ones, they go to a lot of trouble for something like that for your birthday, and it takes a lot of effort, you don't want to just tear it down immediately. You kind of want to leave it up, which is kind of where we are. The person I'm talking about who can identify with that is Beaver. He can identify. He had a recent birthday. I put some effort in, and he left some of the decorations. I think they're still up in the studio, in fact. Right, Beav? Isn't it still up?
The banner is still up.
Yeah.
It's a permanent part of this wall.
All right. And again, part of the reason is, right, there was a lot of effort went into that.
Yeah. Impressive.
And some money.
Of effort.
Beaver, I'll have you know that I'm super knowledgeable on effort. I just want to get that out there, okay? Beaver, I have something else I need to talk to you about. You posted a fantastic picture on, is your Instagram, is it public, or is it one of those you kind of keep it just to you and your friends? Is it private?
No, it's public. I don't understand people who have private Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
I get there's certain situations, but I don't fully grasp where, if you're like a normal human being, maybe if you're like some celebrity, musician, actor, whatever, but a regular person who has like their Instagram set to private, I don't get it.
Well, what you're saying is, what's the point of having it if it's going to be private?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. I can get on with that. Well, anyway, I saw your picture. You and your significant other went and visited and had a photo shoot with Santa, correct?
Yeah, Santa Claus. Man, I haven't seen that dude in, I guessed the last time I went to see Santa was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So 35 years since I've seen him.
That's pretty cool. Where was it?
Bass Pro Shop.
Ah, boy. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, babe. Right there in the old hometown. That's great. Well, glad that y'all had that experience. Hey, full disclosure, is that something where you talked into that, or were you in on it, excited to go?
It was suggested to me, and I've never, like I said, the last time I've seen Santa is 35 years, so yeah. I quickly said, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Did you sit on his lap?
I didn't. I figured that might be a little creepy.
Did others that you know of sit on his lap?
Just the kids in front of us did.
Okay. All right.
But no, I did not see any grown-ups, which is a good thing.
When you go like to Bass Pro or to the mall or something, you see Santa, what's the age limit for sitting on his lap?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm cutting you off at 12.
Okay. All right.
I think once you're a teenager, once you enter the teenage years, you can't sit on his lap.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Because you're kind of protecting Santa at that point, too, because there's some big ones out there, B. Am I going to get in trouble for saying that? I don't think so. Yeah. So here we are. Beav, here's another thing. You know, it's been so long since we were in the off season that I had forgotten kind of what a Monday in the technical off season felt like. And this is weird. We're coming in here today and it's weird. Did you watch any football this weekend?
Oh, NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not a drop of college because I mean, let's look at this. So we have this ridiculous bookie that plays here on this station Saturday mornings, and he's ridiculous, and he does this really over the top, and the host of his show calls him the Great. Here to help you hammer Vegas is the Great Kevin Todd. Literally, Matt Wyatt, the Great is what they put in there. You can get out of here with that. You can get right out of here. And he came on the other day because I put these shows in ahead of time. So I listened to the first minute to hear how fake they are. And he comes on and he was talking about, it's Saturday and we have a huge day of college football. Huge day. Dude, there were like 3 games. And one was the Celebration Bowl.
Right.
So really 2 games. So anyway, no. Long answer to no, I was not interested in college football at all.
Didn't watch a whole lot of college games. Gotcha. Okay, Beef, but hey, you're knocking the Celebration Bowl. I do feel like I need to tell you that I watched a good bit of it, including the end of it, including all 3 overtimes in that game. And it was drama for days. And there in overtime, it was almost like, you know, which team doesn't want to win the worst because they kept not making plays. But it was a good ball game. It was a really controversial call, too. I feel like they got it wrong. But whatever. Let's see. You had, what else? You had Army, Navy, I think, which I think that wound up being a pretty good game, 1-point game. But other than, okay, so the Saints won. Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
All right, didn't see any of it, but they beat Carolina. I watched a good bit of the Vikings beating and ultimately eliminated. I don't guess technically eliminated, but getting them pretty close to being eliminated. The Cowboys. I watched it up to the point that I could tell that the Cowboys weren't going to win it. And I watched a little bit of Bears and Browns. And Beaver, you know, I'm just going to say it like it is with the context that even saying it like it is doesn't mean the guy can't do it. But Shedeur Sanders was as lost in an NFL football game as any NFL quarterback I've ever watched. Did you catch any of the Browns versus the Bears at all and see his performance?
Yeah, all of it.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
So do you agree, disagree? Like, how would you categorize how he played?
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, you were a hair over 50%, and you threw 3 picks.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, I was told his first start against a struggling Ravens defense, and they still lost it. I was told, oh, man, this is impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And then they played the Titans. What Titans are awful. And they still lost, by the way.
Yeah.
They played the Raiders. Got to win there, but it's the Raiders. And then you had what happened yesterday.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
deal,
it's. I mean, he's not just disgustingly terrible, but I believe he is what we thought he was going to be.
yeah. He so there they are against a good team yesterday. By the way, the Bears are 10-4. Okay, but there he is against a good team, and he was lost. He was just lost at times, like movement in the pocket, moving out of the pocket, not able to see what's going on down the field, not able to get rid of it, taking sacks he shouldn't have taken. I think, Beaver, this was midway through the third quarter. Okay, so you're talking about a 31-3 blowout, right? Well, any team, even NFL teams, you get that big of a lead, you get on into the fourth quarter, your defense changes where you soften it up and just keep the ball in front of you and make them play against the clock, get the game over with, keep them in bounds. Well, that's where a lot of his completions came. He was sitting at about 30% completions, through the third quarter. And you just lost. I mean, and I know that anybody at that level has had some bad games that has played quarterback. I'm just saying, though, I don't think I've seen an NFL quarterback look that bad as he did at times and throughout times in that game. It was awful. Now, he had no running game to help him whatsoever. That's hard on any quarterback, but none. In fact, this is awful too. Shedeur Sanders, Beaver, get this. He was the Browns' leading rusher with 2 carries that he's credited for. 2 carries for 24 yards. He was their leading rusher. 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐦 had 12 carries for 21. That's less than 2 yards average. So anyway, there's that. I'm like you, I watch a little bit of NFL football, but I guess all of that to say, it just feels weird because, it's like Reaction Monday. Well, that's out the door because this feels like the off season. All right, so let's do this. We got texts and comments to get through. The phone line's open to you too. Maybe my voice will hang in there for the full 2 hours today. Last Thursday, it was the day before when I'd gone to the doctor, but last Thursday at the end of the show, my voice was about to go out. So I took Friday off, hoping that a little rest or recuperation will be good, and come in here on Monday and really not any better. Voice might even be worse. It's just weird. Well, whatever this is, done a number on me. All right. With that said, you can be a part of the show on the live stream. Hey to you. Facebook and YouTube and X, formerly Twitter. Feel free to hit me up there or drop a comment. We can all see it. Like Old Tackle, he said, "Hey, Matt, Merry Christmas." It's Lime. He changed his avatar, his profile picture to Cousin Eddie. I have one of those Cousin Eddie hats, by the way. The old style wool hat that flops down over your ears. Let me just tell you, it's the warmest hat I have, hands down, period, the end. The warmest hat I've ever had. It's just, it looks terrible, and Annabeth's embarrassed of it. But when it gets cold enough like it is right now, I wear it. In fact, last year when it got this cold, down in the single digits in the teens, I was out in the yard doing something. I was wearing that hat. And Annabeth actually texted some of our neighbors and said, "Y'all, Matt's just wearing that hat because it's warm. He's not trying to look stupid, even though it does look stupid." Really? She's got my back. Sven over in Berlin says, "Hail State, everyone. Listen on my phone on an early morning in Vancouver, BC. Typing is hard. My fingers are too big, but I'm here." Well, hey, Sven, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying that family vacation in Vancouver. We'll get some more of your comments coming up. Grayson, hello to you. Thanks for getting in here on Facebook. Some more of your comments coming this way. Text line, the country pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. Got it? That's a 601 number. 885-3776. J-Rock says, "Hey, Matt, do you feel better than the Chiefs and the Cowboys? They're done." Yeah, I feel better than them. So is it, do I have this right, J-Rock? So Chiefs are officially eliminated. the Cowboys, it isn't official yet, but it's basically official, right? Because then they would need what? They would need to win the rest of their games and need Philadelphia to lose 3 out of 4 or something like that. That's not happening. So they're kind of like unofficially eliminated. John in Rolling Fork texts the show. He says Beaver is correct. The cutoff for sitting on Santa's lap and trick-or-treating should be 12. And then it says, can we make it a law? Okay, so let me get this straight, John. You want to write it into law, and therefore we can actually write tickets the same like a speeding ticket or anything else to older people who trick-or-treat and who sit on Santa's lap. I mean, it would be another potentially source of revenue for the state, or for your area. But I don't know. I don't know if we can get that law passed. Jason in Flagstaff, he's in Arizona. He says, wait, Beaver has a, quote, significant other? He sure does. He's a lucky fella. He says, that dog, Jake, was acting like our boy was a depressed, Cheetos-addicted couch tatering hermit who was desperate to get hitched a while back. Did Jake really insinuate that? As you say it, Jason?
Yep.
He did, and so you haven't forgotten it, have you, Beav?
No, see, well, the problem is, I've told you before, Jake has a problem where, like, he gets to thinking he's clever or funny, and he tries to be funny, and it doesn't really work out too well for him.
Yeah.
But that was part of that.
Okay.
That was part of that. Now, I am not I'm not completely not a hermit, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you kind of own that?
Yeah.
Well, look. Right now, everybody is, B. What's the temperature where you are? I'll tell you what it is where I am. It is here in the middle of the day, Tupelo, Mississippi, a balmy 33 degrees, and it got down into the teens last night overnight. Winds at 4 miles an hour, and anytime it's just even the slightest little breeze, it's like a knife. It'll just cut right through you. So
we
we're
got
all
you
hurt.
by 4 degrees here with 37.
37. You know what that is, B? Same as 33. Too cold.
Pretty much.
I mean, yeah. It reaches a point where it's just too cold. Miko texted the show twice. At first, he said the cutoff for sitting on Santa's lap is 10. He put it at 10. We were going with 12. Text number 2 from Miko. The Browns staff removed Shedeur Sanders' play calling wristband and made changes to the play sheets in it during their recent game against the Bears. Reports from the game indicated the Browns offense was struggling operationally early on, and Sanders had difficulty communicating in the huddle. He was also charged with a delay of game penalty. A sideline reporter stated the team removed his wristband and made tweaks to one of the sheets inside it to address the issues. After the game, both Sanders and head coach Kevin Stefanski downplayed the incident. Sanders claimed the play card simply, quote, fell out of his wristband, while Stefanski referred to it as a miscommunication and said it was, quote, fixed pretty quickly, end quote. Some reports suggest the issue might have been that Sanders was given the wrong play calls to start the game. Whoa. Ultimately, the team made in-game adjustments to the wristband's content to correct the communication problems. Okay, well, that's neat. That's interesting. Let me say this. Now, okay, I have to be careful. I am not trying to relate myself directly to the NFL quarterback experience. I did not play in the NFL. Okay, but I did my first year in college at State all those years ago. Our offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach was Bruce Arians, who, you know, went on to become a long time and great NFL head coach. Bruce Arians, both in Indianapolis and in Tampa, but he was a coach in a lot of other places, and Arizona, I think. Okay, and we used wristbands with the play calls on it that year, the kind that had the windows in it. You could flip it up. and extend it. And after that, the rest of my college career went to just hand signals coming in from the sideline, like most teams use in college. And what I do remember was, that was the only year every time that I'd ever played football where I had the wristband with the calls in it. And I remember how, it could get confusing, especially if, like you're in a clock situation or a time situation, you're trying to get stuff on there to find those deals. And how I remember then at one point too, Coach Aaron's making the decision, look, man, there's just too much stuff on there. We got to cut that down. There may be some special situation stuff we run in from the sideline, but you got to get less options and make the text bigger on that stupid thing. The other thing I remember is you would sweat through it. I'm sure the technology is better now, but you'd sweat through that thing and all the ink would start running. It'd be a mess. But, what you're saying there from a report, Miko, that if you, it's all coded. Okay. And so if you had the wrong sheet, like an out of order, well, that would mean, let's say somebody gives you the signal from the sideline or in your helmet, it's A2, and you go to A2 to see what play. And yours says it's an inside, zone run. But on the coach who's calling that, he thinks he just called a pass play or something because he's on a different sheet. If you see what I mean? Because if that's going on, that would really, really, really be a huge thing in a game. Where, man, we're giving him play. He's got totally different plays than we have. And then you would think, how in the world, if that's the case, how in the world could an NFL team get themselves in that situation? That's really interesting. Thanks for sending that along. All right, just getting started. Y'all stick around. Back after this.
This Christmas, C Spire will help bring the ultimate holiday bundle down the chimney.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany.
All for you.
Just listen to that!
At the Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. Jason out in Arizona. He's in Flagstaff, Arizona. He texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, "It's very nice here. Been near 70 degrees for the last week or so." Wow. You know, I think we're going to get 70s, temps in the 70s once we get on later in the month around Christmas. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it warming up. He said it will be into the next week. He said, problem is nobody can enjoy it because we're all sick from the change, from spitting snow every other day the previous month. Yeah, the fluctuation in the temperature caused everybody to get sick, you know. Hey, speaking of that, we're going to have a 1 hour show today, so I'll be with you until the top of the hour here because I just hadn't gotten over whatever kind of jumped on my back last week, and I've come in here with you on this Monday, and the more I talk, the weaker my voice gets, and if I keep going, there won't be. If I keep going, I'll get into hour two and open my mouth and nothing will come out. It'll just be squeaks and grunts, and nobody wants to hear that. So we'll try to manage it as best we can. But glad to be with you here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. Also, speaking of the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. It's the best sausage. I got some jalapeno and cheddar the other night. Been eating that the last couple of days. And, you know, this all stopped up mess. Get you some of that hot sausage. Eat as our grandparents say, eat a bait of that. Sometimes that's the thing you need. Just clear you right up. But somebody texted in and said that Shedeur Sanders looked better than Gardner Minshew did in relief of Mahomes. Well, what do you do? Let's see his numbers. Mahomes went down with an ACL injury. Chiefs are eliminated. Mahomes out for the year. Minshew was 3 of 5 for 22 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Looks like he did have a little bit of a struggle session after going into the ball game. I didn't actually see all of it. Not good though. Not good all the way around. Hey, if you want to look it up, it's crazy. Their same number of years into the league. Tom Brady, Mahomes, the same number of Super Bowls at that point. And that same year, each had a knee injury and their team missed the playoffs. So that just means the Chiefs are going to be right back on top for another decade after this, right? Isn't that what that means? We'll see. Hey, let's do some headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Went McGee, the Mortgage Man. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. Headline number one. Florida quarterback DJ Lagway is entering the NCAA transfer portal. He posted on social media, quote, "I'm grateful for the opportunity to be in part of such a program as the one here at University of Florida. After much prayer, reflection, and thoughtful consideration, I've decided to enter the transfer portal." Former top 10 recruit, number one dual threat, Lagway moving on. As you heard there in the NFL, the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes has a torn ACL. Insult to injury because it was in a division loss to the Chargers, 16-13. And the Chiefs' season is over. Officially. Well, not officially. They have games left, but you know what I mean. Meanwhile, look, we can say what we want, but Jim Harbaugh, he just wins, doesn't he? He just wins. That's what he does. Okay, and then finally this. Did anybody watch the Heisman stuff? Anybody, do y'all even know who won the Heisman? Did you even pay attention? I don't necessarily know that I did, but look at this. Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia, the Heisman Trophy runner-up, apologized, this was yesterday, for, quote, being disrespectful, end quote, in a social media post that he made after Indiana's Fernando Mendoza won the award. All caps, it said, expletive, you know what that means, blank all the voters, Pavia wrote Saturday night on his Instagram story with a thumbs down emoji. And then something was weird, like something that said like, but, ... family for life. What does it even, what does it even, any of it even mean? The caption on the initial post accompanied a photo of Pavia with his offensive lineman at the ceremony in New York. Pavia faced criticism for his reaction, and on Sunday he posted a statement saying he didn't handle his emotions well after losing. This is what Pavia put up there yesterday. Being a part of the Heisman ceremony last night as a finalist was such an honor. As a competitor, just like in everything I do, I wanted to win. To be so close to my dream and come up short was painful. I didn't handle those emotions well at all and did not represent myself. And then it's a really long post, and I don't want to read all of it. And he said Fernando Mendoza is an elite competitor. And this is, a day after, you don't win the Heisman. And your first reaction is to run to social media and make a complete fool of yourself, okay, only to have to come back and apologize for it a day later. And, so let's see, you could say it like this. Number one, any criticism that he did get that, was overwhelming, okay, should have been, which led to an apology, he deserved. Any of that criticism, you deserve when you react that way. But man, I'm just telling you, okay, if you needed another example of how we are becoming, and somebody's got some people that we've got to start to try to collectively, like as a society, like everybody, to try to curb this and teach the right things to young people. But as a society, especially that younger generation, that we are becoming a me society, a me mindset. Everything is me, and rewarding it. Okay. And here's the thing about it. I was having a conversation with somebody about this earlier this morning. I've sat here before and kind of bemoaned the condition that we find college sports in due to, the legal stuff of opening up totally uninhibited pay for play, unencumbered transfer. You can just go transfer anytime you want, as many times as you want, everywhere, right down to the guys like this kid wanting to sue so they can stay in college and keep playing instead of eligibility rules kicking in and running out, all that kind of stuff. I sit here and bemoan the lack of structure, the lack of leadership, just the laughable even idea that there's really strong leadership at any level in college sports, and then you see the result of it. Okay, but one of the negative effects is we're seeing college sports now rewards all of this kind of crap. College sports actually rewards it. You look at the Kiffin thing. College sports actually rewards guys like that and behavior like that. A guy who, frankly, you're going to look to Johnny Manziel? That's who you're going to emulate on and off? Really? And then we're going to uphold this guy as some kind of shining example. And finally, what it takes is him finishing runner-up at the Heisman and showing his rear end for everybody to finally kick in and go, hey, dude, you need to take yourself down a notch. You need to eat some humble pie. I mean, so we finally get to that point. And I guarantee you what it took was blowback on social media to get him to apologize for it. So let me ask you a question. Yeah, and I realize this is very high and mighty and on a stump and kind of pointing my finger at a younger person. I realize that, but I'll tell you because I think it's the truth. Do you think if there wasn't a social media, storm after he did it, would he have apologized? And two, do you think he really is sorry for the way he acted and all that attention he got that night?
No, Matt Wyatt, because there's a second video posted.
Really?
Of him. There's a sign that says F Indiana, but it says the whole word. And he's partying in, and he's holding up a middle finger to it, right to the camera.
Yeah.
No, he's not sorry.
B, he's not sorry.
That was a whole separate post than the one you talked about, too.
Yeah. The ones
Where's
in
the apology on that?
Right. So that's the point that's where we have sort of devolved to, is that certainly from a sports media standpoint, this is the kind of stuff we're rewarding. So get out of here with it. I've lost respect. What little bit I might have had for him. Run tell. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. I can tell you firsthand how great new things can be. That's why
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? You don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer-related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means.
With Matt Wyatt right here, right now.
On the Zone 105.9 and worldwide
At the Zone1059.com.
All right, back with you in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. I cannot, when it comes to wireless and mobile and internet, I can't emphasize to you enough, if you listen to this show, to understand one thing. C Spire was born in Mississippi, founded and built by Mississippians, people from right here. The founder and CEO, original CEO, 𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐢, born and raised in Clarksdale. Their headquarters are here. So many of their people, I mean, at all levels of their company, because I've gotten to meet them over the years. They're from here. They're people who live here and born and raised in Madison and Tupelo and all points in the coast and all points in between. There are very few, if any, businesses and big companies in Mississippi that invest more like dollars and effort and feet on the ground in supporting high school sports, youth sports, college sports, building facilities, investing and giving back, putting on events, sponsoring awards that keep them going. The Howell and the Connerly and things of the Hall of Fame, the classes and all those things than C Spire. And on top of that, it's just the best product. I mean, challenge me if you want to, okay? Because I'm telling you, I'm willing. It's the best network in our state. Can't say enough about them. So regardless of what you may see here or there, and in every business out there, and even their competitors and others, everybody's involved in marketing and ads and stuff. And what I'm telling you is, and you can come to my house and knock on my door and we can talk about it. And that's one difference also, is regardless of what you see and what gets thrown onto your TV or anything else, there's nothing else in that area certainly in terms of wireless and cell and communication and connected network and internet. There's nothing like it that comes even close to what C Spire is in and for Mississippi. If you think, let me put it this way. If you think you love the state of Mississippi, you don't love it as much as C Spire does. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, regardless of what you see. Let's see here. Dennis, formerly of Omaha, texted the show. Do you think behavior like Diego showed on social media will impact his standing in the NFL draft? It possibly could. Okay, it possibly could. Because, that is one thing about the NFL is, I don't think that they have some sort of emotional bias one way or the other. But I think what the NFL is, they're investing so much money that, in these players that they stop at nothing to try to get a gauge on what kind of, not only athlete, but what kind of person. And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. They can judge it one way or the other, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And, of course, guys can get out of college and grow up and mature and all that. But what I'm saying, Dennis, look, you have seen plenty of examples where the NFL, they just go, look, man, this is a grown man league. Okay. And here's a guy over here who frankly thinks and behaves like a child. So he's not for us. He's a great athlete. Maybe he'll grow up some of these days. And again, they evaluate him wrong some the other way. Some of them, they think it's fine, and they think they got a real character person, and you get on down the road 2 or 3 years later, and they realize they were wrong. But they are all trying to do more than their due diligence on that kind of thing. So, yeah, it could absolutely affect him. Depending on what the evaluation is anyway. Will says on YouTube, want to congratulate Jeffrey Simmons for scoring a receiving touchdown. Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Hail State fan said, how about the men's hoops team? What a comeback from being down 17. Jabari McGee is a special player. I know there's some people that were excited just, to see Josh Hubbard back out there also. Jared commented on Facebook, said Dallas fans talk about how bad the Saints are, but yet we beat Carolina twice and Dallas lost to Carolina. Look, the Cowboys have got an issue on their hands, man, because not only do they have, these people and these players they invested in, and they went out and made trades this year, and still haven't gotten a whole lot better. Look at these last 2 games defensively. They're really not all that better. I think we got fooled there along the way after a couple of those trades. Yeah, I saw the ending. Hail State fans said Navy trailed most of the game. Great comeback for the midshipmen. Kept battling and finally forced a turnover. All right, so Elizabeth, who's married to my former teammate Forrest, says Forrest insists on our boys going to see Bass Pro Shop Santa every year simply for the free picture. They are 16 and 18. That's great. So my 18-year-old was kidding Santa and pretended to sit down and was going to stand up. That's great. Free picture. Go. I mean, it's free. I said, anyone was going to stand up, said Santa pulled him back down by his belt loop. So out in Garland, Texas, old Santa's a good sport. That's great. Yeah, Gene, the basketball team was down by 17, came back, and was a heck of a comeback. That was a heck of a deal. Needed it. Sven I think he's saying $2 million. He said Lagway wants $2 million a year. He says that's the absolute max that I'd pay him. He's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in NCAA history. Hey, but he's number one dual threat quarterback according to the recruiting services, right? Sven also said Pavia is maybe a late 4th round pick. Said Mendoza goes top 3. Pavia has simply not the arm and the accuracy that Mendoza has. So there you go. Will said Diego Pavia has completely crossed into sore loser territory and burned all the goodwill that he generated. Johnny Manziel crashed out through his vices, but I don't remember him acting like Diego has. He went on to say the odds were already stacked against Pavia with regard to the NFL given his size, but he looks like a liability now. Antonio Brown wasn't dropped because of the lack of talent. That's a really good point. So to what Dennis Formula of Omaha brought up on his text. On the Country Pleasing text line, Josh said, Pavia had already rubbed me the wrong way. Him lashing out over finishing second in the Heisman race just confirmed why. And then Real C said, how about Phillip Rivers yesterday? Old guys rejoice. Yeah, I know, man. I saw the video. It kind of hurt my heart, though, because he's 44, and I saw the video of him running out of the tunnel in his uniform, and I thought, Lord. So, like he's in infinitely better shape than I am, yet even then he runs out and you go, boy, he sure does not look like an NFL football player anymore. Fat, soft, and overweight, but he can still play. He hadn't lost that. Big old tough rascal. How about just walking in there one day and running the offense? Hey, here's a playbook. I don't need it. I got it. It's a great story. Sven says, I think the Giants are good with the guy from Ole Miss. They want another player, not the quarterback. Oh, talking about the top of the draft. The Giants have a lot of needs. But I agree with you. I think they can win with Dart. But I do also think there's something to the idea that he's going to have to change the way he plays going forward. You just can't be unless you're a Lamar Jackson type of athlete, Michael Vick type of athlete, which those guys come along once every 30 years. That's how rare they are. Unless you're that type of athlete, you got to cut out all the tuck it and run it all the time stuff. You just got to cut it out. And or else you won't last. If he can discipline himself to live in the pocket and distribute, he can do it. I think he can do it. Is he really? Okay, JS290 says that he's in concussion protocol again after that game yesterday. How about that? And what are the odds that the Florida quarterback winds up at LSU playing for Kiffin? Probably so. All right, listen, thank you all for understanding. Just a 1-hour show today. Still fighting the crud a little bit. We'll see if we can get over it. Back on the air with you again tomorrow. Okay? See you then. For Beaver, I'm Matt, all of us here on the show in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. See you tomorrow. See you.